This is Metzi from Yellow Brick Card Club. You can find us at Yellow Brick Card Club on Instagram. There we have links to our free Discord, our video streams, and whatever else we got going on at the moment. You can find Pierce at Pierce Breaks on Instagram and YouTube, and at reddit.com/r/Pierce Breaks. Both of us run lively, free Discords. Come check us out and enjoy the show.
Hello, this is Pierce. You're listening to the Yellow Brick Card Show. Today I am joined by our good friend Chalk Banana. How are you doing, Chalk?
I'm doing all right. I'm mostly honored to be called a good friend. That seems touching. I'm touched and honored and appreciative for the invite.
Of course. I know that I've known you a little bit longer than the other guys have, and when I say a little bit, I do mean a little bit, but I think the first introduction between you and producer Metzi was when you hit a bunch of nice Mets cards in one of my breaks and were able to send him most, if not all of them.
I think that's the case, or maybe I hit him in a different break. I remember I had a bunch of Mets cards.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was mine. I'm gonna
Hey,
say
you own
that
that.
firmly.
Take it. Yes.
Yeah.
I support your ownership of that. I do feel like my relationship with the Yellow Brick Road crew is relatively like nascent in its formation and its in existence, and I feel like I've known you for like 3 decades in my hobby career. But that means that like Pops and I are like childhood friends at this point, because
Yeah.
my introduction was, I started collecting again because I had too much money. Like that's why we all start.
Mhm.
And then I found Reddit, and then I found Pops, and then I found you, and then I found the Yellow Brick Road crew, and suddenly it's just like I have, middle-aged internet card friends, and it's pretty cool. So
Yeah, for sure. I think with you specifically, you're a very personable banana, and it's easy to become friends with you and easy to want to become friends with you. So, you're doing
it
something
time.
right.
Give it time for the
Yeah.
layers to unfold.
That's
the peel.
just that's the first phase.
Yeah,
We'll
there's
see.
many spots on this banana.
Got it. Sounds good. Do you remember our first interaction?
Oh God, no, I don't. No, I don't.
Man.
Oh, I do. So I really honestly didn't get to you through Pops, but it was tangentially there. Jinja Ninja, I'm assuming friend of the podcast, fan of the show, showed me a red Heritage Roland Auto, or it was an Archives Roland Auto. Archives. And she goes, "This is the second one this breaker pulls from." I'm like, "Whoa, why can't I have both, or at least one?" And of course, she kept them both because she's selfish that way.
Yes.
But she introduced me to you. That's correct. It wasn't through Pops. My memory is terrible.
Yeah, I was going to say something else, but I feel like they happened at similar times. So,
what did I forget?
You sold me a TBT image variation of Corbin Carroll.
I did. I feel like that happened after I joined your server. Maybe it didn't.
Maybe. It's a possibility. My memory's probably worse than yours, so we'll go.
Honestly, anything that happened 3 months ago might as well all happen on the same day. So exactly. I'm with you. Yes.
Yeah. But I love that card.
That's a beautiful card.
Yeah, 1990 variation, or not variation, but just 1990 style. The variation is the Serpientes City Connect uniform. So very near and dear to my heart. One of the first bigger cards that I bought when I got back into collecting. So
I still see the versions of Jordan Walker, like the base throwback Thursday, whatever it was, TBT.
Yeah.
And get sad that I didn't hit a parallel of that, because that would have been great. But
Yeah,
I'm glad that you got that image variation because that is really cool.
for sure. So, speaking of Jordan Walker, I know that he's one of your favorite players to collect cards of, but the people listening may not know. So, can you tell us about some of your favorite players and possibly some of your favorite cards that go with those players?
Yeah. So I'm a Cardinals fan, born and raised. Um, my claim to fame is I like to tell this story. My mother was pregnant with me through the 1982 World Series, and now you know how old I am. And she went to every game while she was pregnant with me in the 1982 World Series,
That's
which was,
amazing.
yeah. So that was, and it was until '06 that they finally won another one. But I like to joke that at least I saw that one in '82 where they beat the Brewers in 7 games.
Yep.
Um, so I'm a Cardinals fan from way back. Um, and when I got back into it, I didn't know any better and decided, the Cardinals have this hot young rookie. He's a giant. He's a beast. He's young. He should be good. He's also just goofy and fun. He's a very happy-go-lucky sort of dude.
Hmm.
Him and Mason Wim have a great friendship where he jokes about Mason being a child and not able to hit to the warning track and things like that because Mason's a normal-sized human being and Jordan Walker is like 8'10".
Yeah.
So he's a fun dude. So I started collecting him, and that cost a lot of money because he was a
Yeah.
hot rookie at the time. And of course,
Yeah.
all that is tanked. Um,
Yep.
yeah, but I do have my favorite cards are his. I have his 2023 TCPA Superfractor, the rookie. It is probably the most beautiful card I own. Um,
Yeah.
I have from the same set, they had the city variation, that extra pack you would look for. And you could get a refractor in those, and there's something like 8 or 9, maybe 10 of those in existence. And I got
Hmm.
one right away for like under $100, and I don't think you'll ever find that card again.
Yeah,
Um,
I really wish I did the same thing with Corbin, but I
yeah,
slacked off.
yeah, I'm doing the same right now with some things that are coming out. I'm like, I'm just going to get this one now because I know I'm never going to get it again. Um, but and then of course you and I share a mutual love for the greatest auto slash insert of all collections right now, like of the hobby, which is the
Hmm.
Heritage Red Ink.
Yes,
And I have his rookie Red Ink, which is dear to me.
I
Is
would
dear to me.
imagine.
Yeah. And I keep forgetting this one. I have a base relic of his from when my wife and I went to the London series, and he had a Tops Now base relic. I was able to pick one of those up, and that's pretty
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then so other Cardinals. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep rambling. You can cut me off at any time, Pierce. I love Ozzie Smith. Grew up watching him. When I first got back into it, I pulled like a 1988 All Star auto from a Series 2 hobby, and so that's great from him. Ken Boyer was my late uncle's favorite player, so I've gotten a couple of his old ones. Pujols, of course, and then now the recent attention is focused on Mason Wynn because he's got some awesome cards, and friends of mine continue to pull amazing Mason Wins, and I have to continue to shell out top dollar to get these, and they're great.
Yep.
So a lot of nice Mason Wins I'll have to show off at some point.
Yeah, that's like the the biggest benefit and the biggest negative of having so many good friends looking out for you is they always send you cool cards, but the biggest negative is they always send you cool cards and you're like, I
Yep,
really don't need to spend money on this card, but it looks so cool.
it's so amazing that you pulled that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a friend who lives in like a not fully rural but somewhat remote rural part of the world, and he has pulled like Win printing plates and SSPs, and it's just like, why are they sending them all to that little corner of the world? I just don't understand.
Right.
But he hits them. He hits them, man. And he's always great and gracious and lets me know and waits till I have money or budget or a cool card for him. So yeah, and that's the best part of this, right? Is we have cards from people that we like. So the card is amazing and it's beautiful and it's great. And of course, as in a retirement plan, it's an investment. But also, it's got emotional capital too, right? Like that Corbin you enjoy, I'm sure, is because I'm so great and
Yes,
the card is great
exactly.
as well. Yeah. So
It's the double threat.
Yes, it's got so much meaning tied up into it. Meaning and value and meaning.
Yes. And I mean, that's one of the biggest things that we've talked about ad nauseum on this pod is just how great the community is. And you have the people that appear on this podcast that we've known for a long time, that we're super close with, that you can make great deals with and point people in the directions of cards they like and things like that. And then
Mm-hmm.
you also just have amazing people. I can't remember if I've told this story, but there was a random dude on Instagram that was just like, "Oh, do you collect Jordan Lawler? Like, I see that you collect Jordan Lawler. Are you interested in this card?" And it was the rare 2024 finest oil spill of Jordan
Oh,
Lawler.
yes, you were.
And yeah, and I was like, yeah, definitely collecting that card. And he's like, I see comps are here and here, and but I know you're a big fan of his and you're collecting this set, so I can give it to you for like $30 below that. And I was just like, holy cow. I don't really have the money for it right now, but I'm definitely interested. He's like, oh, no worries, like I'll hold on to it for you whenever you're ready. And it's just like some dude that I don't even know, but it's just like those are the people that make up this hobby and make it such a fun place to spend our time in.
Yeah, yeah. When I was a kid, I had a friend Ben and a friend John. We all lived on the same street. We were the three people who liked baseball cards, and we would save our money and go buy baseball and basketball cards, and we'd trade what we have, so we each had our own players. They, of course, liked Kobe and Shaquille O'Neal, and I liked Stephon Marbury, so I did not
Oh
pan out that
baby,
way. Yep.
Starbury.
Him and Latrell Sprewell were the people I collected, and Glenn
Wow.
Robinson of all people. So yeah, I don't know where any of those cards are anymore. I'm pretty sure they got stolen in a move. Anywho's, the great thing is that was the experience. We all knew what we liked. We got cards. We shared it with each other. We traded with each other. And it's just like I live on this giant internet street with a bunch of Bens and Johns, and it's great. It's really cool. And
For
I've been very
sure.
lucky to not, I mean, you don't get along with everybody. That's fine. But I haven't been like scammed or anything, knock on wood. I haven't like
Mm-hmm.
lost a card. I lost one package in the mail coming from an Alex break, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I hit anything big, and if I did, it wasn't the end of the world. I forgot to even file. I think the time expired on it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I've been super fortunate, so it's just been a positive year and a half. Man, almost 2 years experience at this point. Wow.
Yeah. That's awesome. And it's just a testament to the type of person you are, that, you put out what you want to receive and it comes back to you. And the other part of it is just doing your due diligence and being smart. I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people don't necessarily do. A lot of people in our circles do, because that's just, a lot of us have very similar personalities of
Hmm.
diving into a hobby and doing research and all that stuff. But there's a lot of people out there that don't do their research, and it takes so little time and effort to make sure that you're protected.
Well, and I'm also a bit crazy when it comes to privacy and such. Like, you do know my real name because of some Venmo payment thing, but most
It
people don't.
Yeah, and it was a long time until I learned
Yeah,
your real
yeah,
name. So it's, I
and
totally get it and totally understand it, but
yeah,
yeah,
and
just
I use a box at a mail store, and the mail guy even knows me as Chalk Banana, and he saw me. I have probably said this story somewhere, but he saw me at a Pirates game where I was at the game with friends, and it was a skiing start, so everybody watched.
yeah.
And he saw me, and he turned to his daughter, who also works at the mail store with him. He's like, "Is that Chalk Banana?" And she goes, "That's Chalk Banana." And they're like, "Dude!" And then the next day they saw me. They're like, "We saw you on the game. It was Chalk Banana on the game."
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, so like I am crazy when it comes to that sort of stuff, which it does help. Like, if I get a bad feeling, I'm like, you know what, I'm good. I don't need that card. I appreciate it.
Hmm.
I'll find it elsewhere.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, it's just I think I appreciate the kind words, and believe me, I'm falling in love with you all over again from it. But I just think genuinely, like, people aren't bad, you know. So like
Definitely.
people that just definitely want to just help each other out, and we see that time and again. And you see people that maybe not as altruistic as others. I'm not always altruistic too. Like I want to make sure I get, the bang for the buck, sure. But yeah, I think it's really just we're all in it together sort of thing. It's really cool. It's really nice. It restores a little bit of my faith in humanity, my old jaded self. So
For sure.
yeah.
I would definitely agree with that. And that kind of ties into the next question that I had for you. Just if there's any wisdom that you wanted to share, I think a lot of people in our circles kind of started at a similar time within the last year to two. There, for whatever reason, it was people just started getting way into baseball cards. I know there was a boom during COVID, which I missed the boat on, but
Yep. Same.
there's when you speak to a lot of people in our servers and adjacent servers, a lot of people have been getting back into it recently. So there's always new people getting into it. One of the things we've talked about is it's easy to get super jaded in the hobby when you see these people asking questions where you're like, how can you ask such a stupid question? But you just have to think about where we were a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So if there's any wisdom that you can impart to those people, or even people, you learn something new every day. So even if you've been doing this for a long time, there might be things that you don't think about.
So I will say, as having been on a few internet communities, and this is, no different than any other online community, right? Welcoming new people into your hobby is as simple as being patient with them and
Mm-hmm.
understanding that sort of thing. So just like you said, yeah, I can get it frustrated or whatever, but like, there's no harm in being like, hey, this is what the information is, or what or whatnot. So, and in my experience, most people in our hobby are like that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there seems to be a preponderance of people who just love to tell you how to do stuff, which is honestly great.
Yeah.
Um, so I think I've asked the same question about 7 times, and I think the same person has answered it 6 of the 7 times. And then I realized that they've answered that question for me, and I'm like, crap, I should try to remember that next time. So like, most people are really patient. So obviously the first advice is ask, um, but just be aware of what you have as best you can, but also don't try to squeeze every dollar out of it, because you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to time the market, because no one times the markets. Like, markets aren't timable. I'm sure other
Exactly.
people can do that, but you can't, right? So I know that of the four or five, $400 or $500 plus cards I've hit, like pulled out of wax,
Mm-hmm.
I've never maximized any of their values. So, in fact, I've probably gotten half of what I could have gotten if I sold it properly.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't worry about maximizing value. Just when you pull a big hit, get what allows you to get a big hit back.
Yeah.
So that's the way to go. Um, and then I've got to say this, because 3 or 4 people in the last month have commented about how they've been doing this for a long time and never done this.
Uh-huh.
When you're in Discord and you're messaging with a person and they send you their address, you can just pin it in a DM, and it's just there for you. And I
Yeah.
did that. I did that recently, and someone's like, I think honestly, I'm going to call him out. Metzi was like, I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years, and I've never thought to pin somebody's address in the DM.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, there you go. That's my gift to you. So yeah, that's a good idea.
That's awesome. And I think that's super valuable because I would imagine the majority of people that are listening to this are members of the Discord servers. So that's a great move. I'm fortunate that I'm everyone that I interact with for the most part I have shipped to at one point or another. So I just have everything saved in pirate ship. But if you aren't like me and sending people packages all the time, then it's a great tip. Great thing to have to remember addresses.
I use, and I know I'm weird in this way, I just use the standard USPS site,
Yeah.
and I had everybody saved in my address book, and then somehow it disappeared. So I had to rebuild it, which hurt.
Yeah, that's always rough.
Yeah.
Losing the database.
It did feel a little bit like starting from scratch.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need a fresh start.
I don't think I've ever finished a Pokemon game. I always just go back and start with new ones to see which different teams I could do. So yeah, that's kind of my game.
Wow, just learning a lot about you tonight.
Sorry, I'm an open book and I talk a lot.
No worries at all. Um, Speaking of fresh starts, I don't know if if we've officially announced on the podcast that I've officially joined the Yellow Brick Road Breaks crew as a full member.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. I teased it on the last one with Wax. I don't remember. It's pretty bad, but I don't remember a lot of the things I've talked about. Just in, because you always throw in little anecdotes and stuff, but this
Right.
is a big one. This is a big one I should remember, but
This isn't narrative
also,
content. You're not building a story, so it's okay to be repetitive.
all right, I appreciate that. But yeah, so I'm officially a member of Yellow Brick Road Breaks. Very excited, very happy to have the crew to bounce ideas off of and work through things together and figure things out. And it's super helpful just to spread out the responsibilities. I'm very, very excited about that aspect because admin is boring unless you are someone like Metzi who loves spreadsheets and loves entering data into spreadsheets. So it's awesome to have him be that person. And I'm very excited, very much looking forward to what is to come for all of us.
I'm excited for you because I know how much you put into this, and I've watched how many breaks you do, and you've built breaks. I feel like I don't know how long you've been breaking, but I feel like I've been there for a large portion of it. Is
Yeah,
that fair?
that's fair to say. I have been breaking for over a year. I think I started last February ish, somewhere around there.
And now I got to see how long I've been in your server. If I can see that about me, I can't see it
Yeah,
about me. That's okay. I feel like last February-ish. You think?
yeah,
Man, I feel like I
definitely.
joined shortly thereafter, but who knows?
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, very exciting. I believe there is some stuff that you wanted to ask me about it and what my role will kind of be on the team.
I well, I had specific questions about the social media side, but before
Yes.
we get to that, yeah, I am curious. One of the things you do that's different from Yellow Brick Road is that
Hmm.
you do larger breaks, and so I think are you going to be scaling down to their smaller breaks, or are you going to still do larger ones on occasion?
Yes. The answer the answer is yes. I am going to be scaling down, but I am also on occasion will be doing the larger breaks, especially for new product releases like Heritage High Number. I already have a case secured. I'm not going to do a case in one night, but we'll do a couple half case breaks, and that will probably be pretty standard going forward for all the big new releases.
That'll be
But
nice. So you maintain a little bit of that larger
yes,
breaks within there. That's a good supplementation of what they're doing, and other way around too. I like that.
yeah, me too. And it is, it is similar. You look at Wax when he's doing smaller breaks that are one or two boxes each, but he's doing three or four of them a night. So he's
Yeah,
essentially doing a half case break anyways. So
yeah.
it will be similar to that for sure.
And I got to go back to the Heritage one. I really hope you pull a red ink.
I do too. I mean, it's going to be really hard to top 2024 Bobby Witt Red Ink.
Yeah, yeah.
And man, I still, not that I would have been able to pull the trigger at that point, but I was like so close to buying it from the guy who hit it. And it would have been like, I think we were looking, it was almost like half, I was going to half cash and half break credit. And it was going to be like 300 total. And, that would have been,
Not a
looking
terrible
back at it
price.
now, would have been a steal.
Yeah, yeah.
But what can you do?
I actually just got myself a red ink. It's Paul DeYoung, who is not uh well, he's had his issues. He had a couple of nice seasons, but
Hmm.
for I think $20 or maybe 15, 20 bucks all in, $20 all in, I think I picked up a Pauly D red ink, and I love him so much. Uh,
That's the best.
I'm actually looking right now at my Joey Weimer red ink because I'm the Weimer
Oh,
guy, and
yes.
it is also beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's hard to find one that is not beautiful.
yeah. So, so what else are you breaking now? Do you have anything on the horizon?
I do.
Are you
I'm
allowed to
not
talk about it?
sure. Yeah, I'm allowed to talk about it. I'm not sure when exactly this will come out, so I assume by the earliest it does, the signups will be open. So I have a couple. You're getting a sneak preview because we're recording early, but
Nice.
I have Heritage High Number, which we talked about. That's
Hmm.
going to be in 2 weeks, I think. Then we have a couple mixer breaks of some Gypsy Queen and Tops Fire.
Oh wow.
So I'm very excited. That was one of the last breaks that I did independently. Had some fire in it, and that's always fun to open. So looking forward to that.
I Pops just did um Gypsy Queen, and he pulled me
Hmm.
some nice cards. Nobody of note, but like a beautiful Carson Kelly auto. And
Oh, nice.
it's a stunning card. I mean, Carson Kelly
Yeah,
did not turn into who we wanted Carson Kelly to be, but that's
D-backs
fine.
legend.
But he's still like, what was that, like a season and a half that he was a functional player.
Right.
Yeah, and a lovely season and a half, but I don't think he was worth giving up Goldie for. So
Yeah. Not the sustained success you're looking for.
no, 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 no.
But yeah, Gypsy Queen, don't have a ton of experience with it. I opened a little bit. Oh, when I did the grab bag break where everyone sent me boxes, there was a bunch of
Hmm.
Gypsy Queen in there, and we got an Otani missing name out of a
Oh wow,
blaster. Yeah. So that
wow.
was a
What year?
monster. 2022.
Wow, that is big.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was awesome. Definitely interested in opening more of that. I also have some 2022 Bowman's Best coming, which I'm very excited about. I'm a big fan of Bowman's Best in general. I just think the designs are cool, like they're different, and you get some really cool cards for a fraction of the price of Bowman Chrome and stuff like that. But you can still,
Yeah,
you know, you can still get really cool ones. I think the biggest one we got was in the last time I did Bowman's Best was for our mutual friend Large Sun. We pulled a Max Clark hymn insert that was green lava out of 10.
that was
So
beautiful. I did see that one.
yeah, so a lot of pretty stuff there.
So I don't mean to rain on parades because that's not what I'm trying to do here, but I've got to admit that Bowman's Best is not one that calls to me.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah, but I have to admit, every time I see you guys posting hits from those, and I think, man, that would be a nice card to have. Oh, that does look kind of cool.
Yeah.
Most of those are on card autos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's the joy of collecting. Even if you don't love the set, but you find an insert that you like or card you like, you say, "Man, I'd like to own that card." You can go out and grab it.
yeah. The joy and danger is that everything is
Exactly.
awesome. Everything is awesome. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
As the Lonely Island once said.
yeah. Well, I just went down that path with a few a few wins that I've been having my eye on one and I got it. And
Nice.
then while looking for it, I saw something else pop up that we talked about this elsewhere, but like the little metal mini from Ginter.
Yes.
I was looking for the cloth one because I
Hmm.
hit a Dominguez cloth one and I think they're cool, and so I was like, I'd like to see if I can get a win of that. And there's none that have been up on eBay, but a metal was up, and I got it, I think, for a pretty decent price. So I'm
There
excited
you
about
go.
that. But I got to stop
Y-
spending in March now because yeah, we loaded up on that.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I'm in a similar boat. We have been talking about those hidden gems for a while, and I missed on a few Corbins, but then I saw the perfect the perfect what not to do public PSA of how not to list a card on eBay,
mm-hmm.
and I knew it had a good chance of going under market value, and it did. So I got a great price on it. Very, very excited. It was the picture of the back of the card was the first picture of the listing.
Yeah, you don't start with that.
No, and the listing ended at like 7 a.m. Pacific on a Saturday, or just like ending it on any day in the morning is just never a good choice if
Yep,
you're trying to maximize your dollars.
yep. I think my medal win ended on like a Tuesday night, and I thought that was probably not the best idea to go.
Yep.
But yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't have a ton of experience with auctions, but I would say in general, Sunday night is usually your best bet to end auctions. I mean, that's when most people are just sitting around relaxing and getting ready for the week and scrolling on eBay. So I would say probably any weekend night would be best, but it's not like ironclad rule. If you have a big card, it's most likely going to get the eyes on it that want to see it and want to pay money for it.
I think you're right. I think in the end the card drives that, but I have also heard when I had a couple that were auctionable. I never did it, but because I just don't have the courage. Um, but I was always told Sunday night, roughly 10 Eastern, because it's 7 Pacific.
Hmm.
It's good enough to be in that like sweet spot. People after dinner usually, or whatnot. Um, yeah. Now I'm just thinking about the fact that I didn't cash in on my Shohei Pluto, but that's okay.
That's
So
neither here nor there.
so speaking of selling on eBay, I'm going to transition on you
Uh huh.
because you have experience with this, and I don't. I We talked about me being crazy and more privacy oriented here. I use Reddit and I use Discord, and that's it.
Hmm.
But I know you have at very least an Insta. You
Hmm.
also had a Reddit group. I don't know what the status of that is now. And maybe you have a Twitter, but I know there's all
Hmm.
these card spheres.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you have, what you use, and how you juggle all the different platforms that all this is happening on.
Yeah. So, as you have heard in the plugs at the beginning of these episodes, I have primarily Reddit, Discord, and Instagram. I started out on Reddit and Instagram, and I basically did everything simultaneously. And especially when I was first starting out, you have to establish yourself, and people are just like, "Who's this clown breaking boxes? Why would I give him my money?" And I literally was just pushing it as much as I could. Reddit is not super friendly to breakers, which makes it tough to do.
Hmm.
And basically it's like any entry level sales job, I imagine. Not that I've done it, but you just have to be annoying and persistent with people.
Yep.
And one of the things that I had to do early on was I would literally look at Reddit and I would look at break posts from the past and just message people and just be like, "Hey, I saw that you're a fan of this team. Are you interested in this break?" And I probably messaged 50 people, I would say, like the first month at minimum. And
Like the digital version of knocking on doors, sort of thing.
yeah, exactly. So
Yep.
it worked out sometimes. There are some awesome people that responded positively, and no one responded negatively. It just got ignored, which hurts the
Best outcome.
self-esteem a little bit, but it's not the same as,
Yeah.
getting cursed out or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I didn't have any major issues with it. And then on Instagram, it was a similar strategy without messaging people directly. I was just follow a bunch of people because there's a big culture of follow back on Instagram. So I just tried to build up my page with cool posts of my personal cards, and then also had the break posts interspersed in there. So I just followed and commented on people's stuff that I thought was cool. And then I looked at other breakers on Instagram and followed their followers and followed people that were getting into their breaks. And so sometimes it worked out. Sometimes I got a follower who jumped into a break. Sometimes I got a follower who has never interacted with me once, but it's just, it's a numbers game like anything. So just trying to build up as much as possible. And just for Instagram, especially, it's posting as frequently as you can helps to keep people looking at your stuff. And when people are looking at your stuff, that's going to push the next thing to them. So I just posted my pickups, posted cards that I liked, added them to my story and stuff like that. So I just tried to keep my presence up as much as possible. And then Reddit is kind of the opposite, because going back, I've been on Reddit for too long in my life. I think if
Yep.
you look at my profile, I'm on like the 14-year club or something obscene.
Wow.
And yeah, um,
Okay.
it's since that time, Reddit has always kind of had a negative interpretation of like personal promotion, self promotion. Like if you wrote an article about something and you're like, hey, I wrote this article about baseball cards or whatever, people would be like, why are you posting this? Why are you posting your own thing? Like somebody else should post it if you want it to be read. And it's just like, when you stop and think about it, like that's not how it works. Like,
Yeah.
especially when you're trying to establish yourself, you need to self promote to get out there. And Reddit is better with that recently, but it's still a lot of that out there. And specifically, the baseball card subreddit can be hostile to breakers because there is a large contingent of for profit breaking that is predatory and scummy and crappy. And we've talked about it in so
Yeah.
many words on the podcast, so we don't really need to rehash it. But it does give people a bad name. And our goal, as we've stated many times, is just to get cards in the hands of people that want to collect their teams primarily. Obviously, people are going to hunt for hot rookies and hot players and things like that, which is perfectly fine too. And we want to share the love with as many people. Like obviously, we are not completely nonprofit. I mean, so much respect and props to Matt and Alex for what they do and how much effort they put into it.
Absolutely.
And they're obviously figuring out the best ways to maximize things like that. And we're doing similar. We're not nonprofit, but we're low profit, I guess. We're making some money on top, but it's not like I'm quitting my day job anytime soon.
You probably know this. I've done a couple of very small breaks with some friends where we each like 4 or 5, maybe 6 people at most, and I here and there, very sparingly, the amount of time it takes to order, set up, organize, break, uh, sleeve or sort, sleeve, pack, ship, get everything. Like, I mean, you're making minimum wage if you're charging a little bit, and you're doing it
Right.
just for the fun. And I do it so I can break cards with friends and have a better chance to get stuff. And we all hop on a Discord call and do that. That's the fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it for a large group of people. No, I have no problem, no problem. Um, because time is not. I mean, time is time. You got kids and a wife. Um,
Right.
health to maintain, all sorts of things. Yeah, the, it's not like you're scamming on what's not in Palm cards. So
Yeah, exactly. I think, I've like I've made the joke to my wife when I like pull a huge card and like if there was any card for me to burn it all down, this would be the card to do it. But
Yeah, you sent off the Bobby Witt red ink. I don't think you're gonna do it for. Yeah, that would have been the card.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, luckily for the people that have been in the breaks, I just seem allergic to pulling good D-backs cards. So no danger there.
Yep, yep.
But what can you do? So yeah, I think, social media is really interesting. Definitely a lot of people that are on Twitter that I just haven't put in the time and effort to try to crack into that sphere, partially because when I was doing it by myself, it was a lot to coordinate breaks between Discord and Reddit and Instagram because I wanted to be fair to everybody and make sure everybody had a shot at their team. So I would
Hmm.
literally just be sitting in front of the computer, refreshing, checking, making sure that nobody was able to, nobody could claim a team that had already been claimed. Like, it was just trying to be really on top of that as much as possible. And obviously, there's always going to be people that are disappointed, and so I just try to do as much as I could to mitigate that. But it was a lot of work, and I'm very glad that I will not have to be worrying about that anymore. I will be trying to grow the social media presence a little bit, just because we have an awesome group of people on Discord that are good about getting, not good, but just that are excited and enthusiastic about our breaks and help us fill breaks quickly. But like we talked about before, there's always new people that are entering the hobby, always people that for whatever reason haven't seen the post before. So just trying to get our name out there a little bit more on Reddit to just continue to grow the server and grow the group.
Yeah. Well, and I think the thing that occurs to me all the time, or the thing that I wonder about is so you talked about having to juggle the different ones, and I see you sitting at your computer refreshing three different screens, and I kind of want to give you a hug. Because I remember filling in breaks with you. I would go and say, hey, I want, the Cardinals or whatever team. And then, after you would say, yeah, you got them, then you'd say, Mariners taken on Reddit or something like that. And I knew that you were working that. I just didn't realize the effort that would go into it.
Right.
And I think that effort I think of that effort not as a breaker, as just a person in the community for trading and selling and trying to, move cards and get the cards that I want. Like that seems like just a whole lot of effort. I have had good luck posting on Reddit and getting trades and sales.
Mm-hmm.
I've even had people comment like, "Why do you get all those?" I posted at the same time you did. I had similar cards. Why are people sending you $5 for this, whatever, base auto, and not me $5 for that base auto? And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm not smart enough to crack Reddit's algorithms, and I'm not
Yeah.
driven enough to do so. Um, but I think that's what's impressive to me, and also curious to me, like how you engage all those different little communities, because there is overlap. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Reddit and Discord, but obviously I'm not on Instagram, and there's people that are just on Instagram and Twitter or Facebook or whatever, um, and it's just interesting to me how people are able to leverage all those different things to, build their collection, flip some of their cards to be able to spend for more. And I think I'm impressed by it and scared a little bit and confused, but I think that's partly my age.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally, it's like anything else. It's just time and effort, and I pretty much built things up in parallel, so they all kind of progressed in a similar way. I started up the chat on Reddit that you mentioned forever ago.
Hmm.
That is still ongoing because it's just a great place to, similar to the Discord server, it's just a great place to hang out and talk about cards and baseball and anything else that you want to talk about. That's like the sales pitch that I always give people or post when I post on Reddit or wherever. I just say join the Discord because it's a great place to hang out. Even if you don't want to join breaks, that's fine. We just want to have cool people to talk to and do our things. So,
and the quality of that community is a testament to you. I will
mhm.
repay the flattery, but it's not flattery, it's truth. And I'm noticing the same stuff here. Pops has done a good job over there. Pops and Alex, Metzi and crew are doing a great job in his server. It's the community is generally very well self-policing, but you guys make a very nice area where people treat each other with respect and are decent and you know pump each other up about cards,
Yeah,
which is nice. Which it's really nice to see. Not
for
some
sure.
not a bunch of snarky Reddit comments, which frankly aren't even though that bad. Honestly, they stick out because they're so infrequent. But I
Right.
don't see them at all, you know, in the servers that you guys have. So yeah, it's a testament to you guys for the quality of community you've put together.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And, you know, people like you are part of that too, because you are those users that are self-policing and making it, you know, just bringing the positive attitude and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I'm great. I agree.
if you can toot your own horn for a minute or two,
Happy to. Happy to.
always. But yeah, I mean, just to put a bow on the question, it's just time and effort. And I even surprised myself. One of the last ones I did on Instagram, there was a random dude that was like, yeah, I just saw your post and wanted to join because I saw it through the hashtag. I was like, wow, that might be like the first time that's worked. And I've been doing it for over a year, you know?
Yep.
But going back to my very first break, I posted it on Reddit and Instagram. And there's a dude that I followed that joined on Instagram, and he was like one of my best people through Instagram. I could always count on him to take a spot in the early days. And in that first one, I think I hit him the Yoshida Decal Edge Mini.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how rare they were when I hit it,
Very
but
rare.
they're, yeah. Even though it has the fake out blue facsimile auto, it's still a very nice card.
And it catches me every time. Every time I don't see it
Mm-hmm.
for a month, I have to go, wait, are those actually autos? I've been
Yeah.
hunting a walker of those. He's got such a nice one.
Mm,
And there's one out there for like 35 right now, and I think that's a good price.
it's not
But
bad.
then I think I could probably get it for 25, and then I can't get it for 25, so I'm still waiting. So I'm still
Yeah.
waiting.
One day.
One day, yeah. So let me, if I can ask you a final question, because I'm curious about something.
You may.
Uh, and this is a bit of a weird one. I'm sure you have your favorite cards.
Mm-hmm.
Does your wife or son have a favorite card that they're like, that's a cool card. I like that one. You can show that like above the fireplace sort of thing.
I cannot say that my wife does. I haven't, haven't given her the grand tour of the full collection. She kind of, I
Probably
show her some.
for better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good
Yeah,
idea.
exactly. But, when I show her something cooler, I showed her the Corbin Carroll Superfractor when I got it. She just like, smiles and nods. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad you're happy.
Yep.
But and she's been an awesome sport about it. Like, she's picked out some boxes for me at Barnes and Noble, and we've opened them together and all that stuff. And she's like excited when she hits a Corbin Carroll base card and all that stuff because she knows that's my guy. So, that's been fun.
That's
But
great.
in general, she does not have a favorite card. My son is not quite old enough. He looks at the cards and smushes them around and throws them around,
Yep.
but he doesn't really have a singular card that he's attached to. I got some more Marvel boxes in today from David Adams, so I had a 2022 Chrome Sonic pack as my freebie, and I opened it, and one of them was a refractor, and I was like, oh, look at that card, it's so shiny. And he just put it on the ottoman and walked away. I was like, all right. There you go.
Yep. My son is 3 and he's almost 3. He does the same with that. But my daughter has favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a Jordan Walker fan too, right?
She gets so very excited she gets excited about Cardinals.
Yeah.
And then she gets excited about Jordan Walkers. Like extra excited. So
That's awesome.
yeah. She last year she went as you probably know the story, but she went as Jordan Walker for Halloween, and we took a bunch of his base rookies, and I had her sign them, and she handed them out to people when they were asking about her costume.
That's
and that was about the
amazing.
coolest thing. The one card that is always on my desk is a base TCPA 23 Jordan Walker that she signed Jordan Walker and then her last name because she combined it all together, and it will be forever my favorite card.
Of course.
So of all the cards I would get slabbed, I would get that one, but I don't know what they would do with it. So
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So no, she's a big Jordan Walker fan, big Cardinals fan. She likes getting cards. That's what she is. She's a collector just like her daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I'm excited for when my son is old enough, but it's the eternal struggle of not wanting things to go too fast, but also, being ready for when he's just a little more cognizant of what's happening. But
which we will discuss on our next podcast, Parenting with Pearson Chalk.
Yes, exactly. That's what people are here for.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think we covered a lot of ground. I think that was a good episode. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about, or anything you need to plug while you're here?
Nothing to plug. I just want to say thanks for the invite. I always enjoy interactions. We have quite a few servers that we share, and I appreciate you guys reaching out. I am happy to talk and share with you. It's been nice to chat. It's been weird to talk back to the voice that talks to me on breaks.
Yeah.
And have it respond, because you never respond when I say, Pierce, pull me X, and you just you keep on ripping and talking about other stuff. You never pull me that Walker. Although I get to say it now officially. Thank you for my Jordan Walker auto that you pulled out of TCPA for me. It is cherished and loved.
I am very glad.
Mm-hmm.